Just for a thought, I want to use for a sermon topic, just for a thought, the results of a cry of obedience. The results of a cry of obedience. You may be seated. The results of a cry of obedience. In this text, Jonah here is commissioned by God to do a work in a place called Nineveh. Here, Jonah he's commissioned. Commissioned is to call into action. But it's not only to call into action, but it's to call salvation, but not only salvation, but vocation. And religious vocation means it's a special grace that God gives to certain people for a calling of evangelism. So here God calls Jonah to evangelize and go to Nineveh and speak the word that he has given him to Nineveh, because they were a people who were sinners. They were people who were shacking up. There were people who had drug addiction. There were people who had all kinds of sicknesses and illness spiritually. And so Jonah was commissioned, I want you to get this, to go and speak to Nineveh. I want you to get this. Here Jonah says, God, you called me to go to speak to them. See, God told me, he said, see, the reason why we can't go no higher is because we too sedated. We don't want to go and speak to other people because we think we better than them. But I stop by here to let you know, nobody in here is better than nobody. All of us was made from dust and we're going back to dust. So you ain't got no right to judge nobody. You ain't got the right to put your nose down at nobody. You ain't got the right to talk to nobody any kind of way, because the way you do a child of God, God will handle you. Do unto others as you would do unto yourself. He said, how can you love me? You ain't even seen me, but you don't even love your brother who you see every day. But yet we want to say our name is victory. Yet we want a house. Yet we want blessings from God. Yet we want things from God. But we won't do the first things first. He said the commandment, the greatest commandment, one of the greatest commandments is to love thy neighbor. But see, we want to skip over that and just move to the blessings of God. But Jonah got it messed up. You can't get the blessings of God if you ain't in the position to be blessed. You got to be in a position to be blessed. You got to be anointed and certified to be blessed. We got a lot of folks who talk about their prophets, talk about their preachers, talking about their ministers, and talking about their worship leaders, but they got so much hell going on behind closed doors. When are we going to live right? So Jonah here has been commissioned by God. Commission called into action, meaning I have to take action on this. See, the problem is, watch this, I want you to get this. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, but faith without works is dead. So if God called you to do something, that means you are to be living, a living testimony, holy and acceptable to Jesus Christ. So your faith can't be dead. The reason why you get in dead situations is if you're working on a dead faith. You dead trying to bring the spiritual into natural. You trying to pray things out of the spiritual. I call it. Just because you speaking in tongues ain't going to get you nowhere. God said, I don't move by emotions. I move by your heart and actions. I need to see some signs. Show me some signs. So here, Jonah is commissioned. He's called into action. So that means he's supposed to take action. Watch this. So he was chosen. I want you to get this. He was chosen to call action. Watch this. Watch this. But you are a chosen generation. A royal priesthood. See, a lot of you young people, y'all are chosen. You are a chosen generation, chosen to be obedient, chosen to live for God, chosen to do the right thing. You don't have to sleep with that boy. Can I be real? Can I just get down? Can I just say be real? Because a lot of church folks trying to keep the stuff behind and just trying to sugarcoat stuff. I ain't sugarcoating nothing. My people know me. I don't sugarcoat. Don't sleep with the boy. If he can't put a ring on it, then you need to tell him you need to back that thing up and drop it like it's hot. And it got real quiet. Y'all not praising no more because I just hit somebody's button. Because you would say, dog, God, tonight that. Okay. And so, here Jonah is. He goes, he's been called, he's been commissioned, he's been called by God, so God calls him. And here he is, he runs away from God into a place called Tarshish. Don't you get this? Tarshish is a remote place. So he ran from something to nothing. A lot of you, I'm speaking to somebody right now, I don't even know who I'm talking to. A lot of you all had something. God said, I called you into something. I predestined you to conquer what you're going through, but you ran from something to nothing to be something. See, you got to get this. You got to get this thing because it's funny. Because just because the streets tell you, you got to be a thug. You got to wear your pants sagging. You got to go kill somebody. You got to cuss people out. You got to fight and disobey your parents and drop out of high school. You got to be a high school dropout. Just because the streets, you run to that. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Commission. So he's in commission. Then he goes to disobedience. Disobedience. When you go to the place of disobedience, you go to a place where it's called sterile, unfertile. Disobedience means unfertile. So in the place of disobedience, you won't be able to produce. He said, I'll bear you by the, I judge you by the fruit that you bear. So if you ain't producing any fruit, then something is wrong. You might want to look in the place that you're at. You want to look in the place that you're in. So here he is in disobedience. So he runs away from God and he goes on the ship, run away from the presence of God. So here he is on the ship, and the ship starts rocking. The winds start coming. The storm starts getting strong. And the people on the boat, I can imagine they're black people because they panicked. See, the old Baptists, oh Lord, I'm here right now, Jesus. Save me, Lord. And then they get the long prayers and drawn out prayers. And so here they on the boat and they're panicking. But Jonah is asleep. I want you to get this. Watch this. Jonah is asleep in the middle of the storm. So they wake him up. He said, now, why aren't you calling out to your God?